What's up, YouTube? It's FallenKiller97 here, and if I'm talking a little slow, it's because I just had frozen coffee, so my mouth is really fucking numb right now. Anyway, this video is going to be very different. I'm going to try to keep it under 5 minutes. This is like the 10th take. So, basically, the topic on this is the PlayStation 2, not the PS4, but it ties in. So, basically, with the release of the Nintendo Mini and the Genesis Mini that are coming out soon, it got me thinking. So, I don't know why Sony isn't doing this as well. It would be very, very suiting for them to release something similar, but pull a Sony. What I mean by that is the PlayStation 4 is getting a PS4 upgrade slash, not new system, but I guess a half gen. It's supposedly twice as powerful, and even though it's not a new system, it's going to have a lot higher graphic fidelity than this one, obviously. But it's not going to affect many games. What I mean by that is games like Tales of Zestiria, Final Fantasy, Resident Evil. Those three games are probably not going to have any kind of graphic fidelity upgrade because those games are remasters and JRPGs that are not going to need that. Evolve, games like that, first-person shooters, RPGs that are open world, will most likely, be very, very, very good in terms of that upgrade. But it's not for everyone. The only reason why the gaming industry kind of likes it is because these things came out pretty underpowered at launch, and there's going to be a lot of people buying them specifically just because of the fact that they don't want to have the lowest common denominator. And I can relate to that because I have a high-end PC right there. But despite that, it's not going to really benefit, I'd say, like 60% of game releases for the PlayStation. It's not going to, but people are going to feel the need to have to get it because it's the latest, most powerful PlayStation console. But it would make a lot more sense, wouldn't you think, if they did that with a previous gen system. Now, the PlayStation 2 is the one I had in mind because, like the PS1 before it, it has a shit ton of good games on it, over hundreds and hundreds of different games that are just great on it. I mean, a couple that I can think of in the top of my head would be games like, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, basically kind of like Diablo in some regards. Champions of Norath, you have, the Silent Hill 2 and 3, Resident Evil, that's been, remastered to death. Those are just some examples of good games you could play on it. Persona 3 and 4, Final Fantasy X, XIII, 13, Obscured the Aftermath, the Lord of the Rings games are pretty good on it. I can go on. There's lots of open world platformers that are good on it too. The point is, there's hundreds of good games you could play on the PS2. And it would make a lot more sense, in my opinion at least, if they released a PlayStation 2 Neo. I can already think or have a good idea of how you can do this without needing to get it through Sony. I mean, yes, you can get a mini ITX case, probably an AMD FX chip and RX 460 or something like that, and rig up a emulation device that looks like a beefed up PS2. It is possible. PCSX2 is very well optimized for about 95% of pretty much all PS2 releases. So it would be very good if you wanted to do that. It's possible, but that costs a lot of money. It would be cool if Sony would at least think about that, because it's something that I'd be very interested in. And it's really important for people to understand that, yes, you can play physical games, not physical, yeah, you can play digital games in the likes of the PSN Store, but there's a lot of games that they can't upload to the PSN Store due to licensing issues, due to them not caring, or due to them having too much other games to worry about, streaming services. There's games that are on the PS2 that'll never see the light on the store, and there's not that many of them on there anyway for reasons like that. So it would be very beneficial, at least in my opinion, to do that. Sony, why not at least think about it, because it would be very beneficial for people that have the physical releases of the games. They're never going to be out again. The same reason why the digital market doesn't have a lot of PS2 games on there due to licensing issues, developers no longer, in existence, like THQ. you can increase the graphic fidelity in games through emulations like PCXX2. You can make the resolution of the game 4 times out of 1080p if you wanted to. You can increase, the texture filtering, anti-aliasing. I can go on. You can do all that right now. And Sony, it would be really awesome if you released a PC SX2 kind of device, or not even that. If you just released a beefed up PS2, wouldn't that be cool? Anyway, and everybody in the comment section that sees this video, please respond. Give me your take on it. Do you think this is a good idea, a bad idea? And I'd like to hear the gaming community's input on this. This is Spawnco97 signing out. I've had too much coffee.